What's up, folks, and welcome back to the Global Speedrun Association for our last 70-star Div 2 race of the day between BlueBob and Pete, Canada versus the USA. I'm Electric, and I'm so hyped to calm this match for all of you. This should be a pretty decent one. As you can see in the standings, BlueBob in second place, just behind JJ, and with a win can probably get above him through these week standings. Pete in fourth place, 539 points. So with a win, he could actually pass up BlueBob. So this is going to be a pretty big race for both players. BlueBob does have the advantage going in, both with a minute and a half better of a PB and a better average time by about a minute. But Pete seems to have a little bit less variance between his best and worst times. So if BlueBob's having kind of an off day, this could be a pretty decent win for Pete if he's able to execute well here. So let's see what we've got here as they're going on in to the files, ready to get this race kicked off after the intro cutscene. And for those who weren't aware, J-Mill was MIA, so we were not able to have that last race. It's still in the air whether it'll be postponed or if Tama will be taking that win. But for now, let's see how this race goes. First off, Lakitu Skip coming right at you. Let's see what form these guys decide to go for here. BlueBob with that kick setup and Pete following right along. The BlueBob landing just a little bit too far right. The lineup looked good, but wasn't quite what it seemed. You can see BlueBob not quite used to the lag there. There's a little bit of lag that comes in during that cutscene, so those tech skips are a little bit harder to get than some of the others in this game. Let's see how bomb clip goes, though. Pete with one bomb clip fail could easily tie this race back up in the intro here. As we saw in the last race earlier with Drogi, bomb clip not quite guaranteed. But for Pete, getting it good first try here. BlueBob with a medium bomb for the clip. Gonna lose a little bit more time to Pete, but that's okay. Heading on into Whomps. There are a lot of things that could happen in Whomps that could change this lead around before they advance further on in the lobby. Let's see how those slide times go. Get those guesses out in chat. We've got, or at least I've got, a 12-8 on Pete, 12-6 on BlueBob, are going to be my guesses. Pete having some trouble with the painting entry here. That geometry can be a bit weird. Sometimes you bonk on one of those archways without really knowing how. Let's see. Pete looks like he's a shoo-in for a 12-8. Yup. Bob, let's see the landing here. I think it's going to be a 6 or 7. And a 7. Nice. Nice 1/10 of a second saved from BlueBob's side. So we got both racers advancing into Whomps. Let's see what star orders they go for. We've seen some people prefer 100 first. Some people prefer Cannonless and Owless first. Pete having some trouble getting into the painting. Pete starting on off with Owless. No fence clip movement here. BlueBob with Pro Cycle 100 coin. Let's see if he's able to make this work. Very, very tight cycle. One little mistake could easily make the cycle not reachable, and you'll have to go with the half backup. Looks like he's on decent pace for it. Let's take that big leap, but grabs the coins he wants. Ooh, very, very nice reaction there. Looked like he fell a little bit short of the Piranha Plant, so he had to do a very quick jump to make sure he'd still bop him. Pete with Cannonless now.
Here we go!
I know, Slayer. My psychic abilities almost got me there, but just not quite. Very nice 100 coin from BlueBob. He could save like a second or two maybe, but it's gonna be real hard to make that up optimally. Pete with the full cycle, no pro. Difference being BlueBob went and grabbed one of the lines on top of the stone platform a bit earlier. Pete with a bit of dust, but it might still be okay. It's really the advantage. Oh, but he misses the platform. Full cycle out of the question. Gonna have to go with a half backup. He's gonna just go ahead and grab the pole instead of going for the awning jump, but dismounts the pole too early. Gonna be a very weird cycle that he ends up on, having to just wait around for the late cycle here. So it's gonna be some decent time loss over BlueBob starting out this race. And BlueBob with the Owless fail, though. That looked good, but barely getting the ledge grab instead. And he manages to get the fence bop this time around. So Pete should still probably be in the lead here. Oh, Pete taking a big fall there, not landing on top of the stone like he wanted. Gonna waste another second or so. Not really the best 100 coin from Pete here. BlueBob with cannonless texture setup. Let's see what happens with it. Oh, barely too far to the right, it looked like. To be honest, I thought he might have a problem being too far left. Could have been that he was too far left, but not far enough left for the ledge grab. Either way, BlueBob going in for a second attempt now. As Pete advances towards Wild Blue here. And going for broke here. Texture setup again. Going to take some extra time making sure Mario's lined up. And BlueBob misses texture setup yet again. Has to go for this very, very costly backup. Gets the nice movement towards it, though. Takes a lot of practice in order to get that movement good. He is not backing down from texture setup. And third try, it does work. But Pete's still going to be holding on to his lead. If he would have gone for full setup and gotten it, I think that he probably would have been able to either take the lead or at least cut Pete's lead pretty significantly. Nice second pound for Pete. Very, very optimal. Hitting the Whomp just as it landed. BlueBob going in on the big Whomp. As someone pointed out the other day, the Whomp actually has a pretty big nose reminiscent of a certain cartoon character known for being done with SpongeBob's antics. Pete with the triple jump for top of the fortress lands it just fine. Must be BlueBob's unlucky day. Could be, although we're still really early into this race, so anything could still happen here. Nice fence clip movement from BlueBob here. Got to have a lot of precision in that dive in order to make sure you land right on the fence. Second try on the slide, though. I think Pete will improve to a 12-7. BlueBob will hold fast on the 12-7. Let's see it happen now. And Pete wasting a little bit of time with that, so he's going to get a 13-1. If you wait too late to dive, you won't have nearly enough speed, and Pete ending up having too much speed going through the ending here, wasting a bit of extra time trying to grab this box star. BlueBob with a nice dive, though. That'll be a 12-6 from him. Nice. You could say BlueBob's down in the blues. Pete with the wing cap flying. Let's see how this goes. First two coins, perfectly fine. Fluff, now you've got the, oh, Pete missing the button here. There we go. Fluff, you've got the Papyrus fight music stuck in my head now with that. Pete advancing to Dark World. Still clutching onto this lead, but not by much anymore with that slide. Commentator making Chatters leave with his terrible laughing. Pete on nice shig pace. BlueBob missing the switch here. Shake's still possible, but it's going to be a bit more iffy. Going to require some very optimal movement here. Oh, BlueBob missing the triple jump here. Shake pretty well dead in the water for him, unfortunately. He was probably hoping that the reverse would happen. Pete having to take the ledge grab here, dangerously close to falling down at the very end of Dark World. Pete's gonna at least attempt this. Well, he's not even able to get any sort of jumping movement off of the yellow block. Has to wait a little while there due to how close it was to the platform. Pete misses the throw, though. He'll be able to get the back up pretty quickly, but that's some more time for BlueBob, possibly canceling out his Dark World mistake or coming close to it. It's a very, very off-angle throw. BlueBob with the nice picturesque throw. If I remember correctly, you want Bowser to hit the bomb on the second bounce there. Pete heading on into Sky Jump. Let's see how this goes before they head into Cool Mountain. For some sliding shenanigans and such. Pete with a nice approach. And gets the Sky Jump very clean. No issues on his end. Pete having some issues with the triple jump, though, manages to get it back up very, very quickly. And a picturesque Sky Jump from him as well. As both players advancing into CCM. Let's see what happens inside this stage. And also what star orders they end up going for. BlueBob might be going for CCM 17. Not quite sure about Pete. Interesting move. Okay, he actually, I think he tried diving a bit too early, and so that dive came out as a kick instead. But a very nice backup. Still a pretty clean wall kicks will work from Pete to start out CCM. Nice penguin from BlueBob. Pete having some issues with the grab here. Managed to get it third try. Absolutely right, Mr. Panda. This is still a very, very close race. BlueBob going on in for wall kicks will work. A bit cleaner of an intro than Pete. Very nice ending. Pete heading on in for slide skip, confirming CCM 18 route here. BlueBob, though, gets the cam for CCM 17. They go for his 100 coin right now instead of with Penguin Race. A bit safer in this stage, but leaves you a little bit vulnerable to plus later on in SSL. So it'll probably look like BlueBob is taking the lead here, but it's a bit deceiving as Pete will have one extra star coming out of this stage. Pete has to do CCM 18, which can be a little bit dangerous with Penguin Race. Penguin can be a tad unpredictable at times. Missing one of the shortcut coins, but it should still be fine on coin count. Just needs 98 leaving the slide here. And he'll be perfectly fine. Pete grabbing the safety red. Smart move for CCM 18. Sometimes having trouble with the warp. The warp doesn't actually extend all the way across the bridge, so you have to be pretty centered up in order to hit it. But occasionally, the penguin can have a tendency to try to push you out of the way of two coins. So grabbing that safety red is honestly a must-have strat for these races, unless you're very, very confident in your race. Misses one on the archway. Still totally fine, though. Misses one there. Does get the whole shortcut line, but can't miss any of these pairs here. That's his last safety coin. He needs to be on perfect coin count. Penguin a little bit close, but he makes it work. Very, very nice. BlueBob, meanwhile, advancing into BBH. Keep going a tad risky, long jumping right over the Penguin, but not getting pushed off to the point of no return here. Doesn't go so early that the Penguin pushes him off during the star grab. Correct, Mr. Panda. So there's 2 different routes you can use to go through CCM, CCM 17 or CCM 18. Doing the slide standalone. Oh, BlueBob missing the boo here. At least the boo is on top of the roof here. Doesn't have to wait for him to climb his way up. But the slide skip star is actually slower than doing an additional star in SSL, but that additional star is somewhat risky. It's very, very precise to get the intro for. So many runners will opt to do what Pete did here and go ahead and get the slide skip star, since it is the fastest backup star you can do in lobby and basement. And so they won't have to do a very difficult trick in SSL twice, whereas BlueBob will have to, although he can save a little bit of time. And virtually synced on Bookcase Star, however, BlueBob, of course, moving down to the basement immediately now. Pete having a little bit of an issue with the boo kill, but gets the backup very fast. All right, BlueBob with the punch grab. Nice and optimal. Let's see if Pete can save some time on Big Boo here. And the time is saved. Very, very nice boo kill from Pete. As BlueBob advances into his first plus attempt. Things can get somewhat dangerous here. BlueBob gets a big bomb. The double jump is good. So he's going to be advancing right inside the pyramid. Probably going to go ahead and go for secrets first. Yep. So this is the star I was talking about. This star is faster than doing the slide on its own. But that intro movement that he did called Pillarless is very, very dangerous. There are a lot of ways that you can fail it. Very, very clean secrets from BlueBob. So for our newer viewers, I'll try to explain the trick a little bit as these runners go for it again. So BlueBob's going on in for a second attempt. Pete on his first. Should BlueBob land this, he will be a little bit in the lead. So this first step here, they're grabbing the bomb as it's exploding. And, oh, Pete gets the bomb exploding in his face. That means he grabbed a little bit too late. When you grab the bomb on while it's exploding, the bomb has a bigger hitbox than normal, but the game still puts the bomb in the same position in Mario's hands. And that position means the Bob-omb's hitbox intersects with Mario's. And the game really does not like that and wants to push them apart. The Bob-omb, however, can't move, but Mario can. So the game gives Mario a lot of backward speed from the Bob-omb kind of pushing him back. Then this next step, where they're actually re-grabbing the bomb, allows Mario some additional movement options and extends the bomb's fuse. So that's why they're able to jump and ground pound and everything else through here. And then finally, they advance to the pyramid, do that very precise double jump on that sand slope, and are able to clip inside the pyramid with the speed given by the Bob-omb. So both sitting at 23 stars. Pete gets his second attempt at plus. BlueBob trying for this angled long jump, but ends up hitting the wall instead here. BlueBob just needs shining atop the pyramid to finish out the stage. He's going to have a few seconds on Pete going on into LLL. This is still a very, very tight race. Nothing is guaranteed right now at all. And BlueBob, interestingly, headed over to the bullies first. Most of the time you see runners tend to opt for, and Pete doing the same, have an odd star order. Most of the time, people will use reds first. Occasionally, you'll see red hot log rolling first. But both these guys confident in using the bully star as their tech skip star. BlueBob, I guess, just trying to save the easiest kind of miscellaneous stars in the stage for last. Pete, or BlueBob with a very nice triple bully kill. Let's see what Pete can follow up with here. And Pete going for the ground poundless. Misses it, but gets a very, very nice backup, not wasting very much time at all. BlueBob will likely be going into the volcano now. Nice intro movement here. Oh, but gets the ledge grab at the end, though, unfortunately. Long jump lava boost here. Nice and safe. Some people think the triple jump lava boost is even more consistent and easier, but in my opinion, the triple jump is harder to line up. Pete going for said triple jump here, and you can see the huge height you get off of that. If you're able to get the triple jump, it's very difficult to not actually go through that stone platform there. Yeah, in a run, you could certainly argue for doing the volcano stars first, but in a race, it doesn't really matter quite as much. It's really just what you're comfortable with. Since you have to do the stars regardless anyway, and you don't have the ability to reset if they don't go well. Nice elevator from Pete. Or from BlueBob, sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking Pete's on the left side. Pete with the extra little bit of camera line up there, making sure that he's diving dead on into the pole. Very nice movement from him. BlueBob with this jump diving movement for reds. And Pete actually going for hot log rolling before reds, saving reds for the dead last star. Looks like Pete either just didn't feel comfortable going for the speed kick there, or just doesn't go for it generally. BlueBob finishing off a very clean hot log rolling. Had that extra speed going into the flight and got the fence flip movement. Pete with the more basic long jump movement on these reds. A lot safer. There's a much less chance of you mistiming or misangling a dive and falling into some lava. So BlueBob advancing to DDD. Pete just behind. Even something as small as forgetting to open a chest or getting one of the manta rings to troll you could definitely change this lead up a little bit. Oh yeah, every runner has such a different blend of strats that they feel the most comfortable going for. Dream drop distance? Sorry, no, this is Dance Dance Revolution, specifically the blue mix. They came out with a color series back in the 90s, so this is the blue mix of DDD. No, it's Dance Dance the Revolution. The D is mostly silent, though. BlueBob with some nice chests, not leaving Pete any room here. Yeah, of course it makes sense. I mean, commentators can't be wrong, right? It's just impossible. Nice chest from Pete, too. Pete getting a very, very nice set of swims after that fourth chest. He's right on top of that star. Let's see. BlueBob will likely go for a rear sub here. Let's see how his lineup looks. Yeah, it's the best game in the arcade. It's such high demand. Meanwhile, rear sub in high demand for BlueBob here. Very, very nicely executed rear sub. Pete coming in right behind with it. No pun intended, of course. Oh, jumps a little bit too early. And he clips underneath the fin here, so he's going to have some kind of awkward swimming movement. He gets the double jump rear sub. Let's see these Manta rings from BlueBob. Looks like he's in good shape. Yeah, good to go there. All right, BlueBob is about to advance into Fire Seed. Pete just behind. There's one little Manta ray between him and the Land of Fire. Let's see what BlueBob's able to pull out here. Gets that nice angle. Double jump is good. Nice first red, and that long jump after is a little bit difficult to do as optimally as he did there. Nice movement. Seemed to be a little bit slow on the elevator movement, but should still be fine. Didn't lose very much time at all, if any. Triple jump is good. No ledge grab. You can see by the camera, he actually got a little bit of a bop off the ledge, but no grab. That little bit of unoptimal movement, though, he wasn't comfortable going for lava boost then, so Pete can save some time here, but BlueBob is still on definite early cycle pace. Nice early Ellie's from BlueBob, not even needing a ledge grab. Pete not triggering the elevator, though, not able to save any time, and early Ellie's could be in jeopardy as well. BlueBob having to take actually a good ending here due to a little bit of a delay. Pete looks like he went for the double jump there, but didn't quite make it. The triple jump at least was good. Let's see if he's able to hit early Ellie's. Not hitting this would cause so much. Oh, missing the red is probably going to cost it. Yeah, platforms are already falling. The early Ellie's dream is dead, and Pete is losing tons of time to BlueBob here, having to just wait for these elevators to come back up to their initial cycle. Pete could save a little bit of time on the ending, but it's somewhat unlikely. Let's see what he's able to do with it, though. Takes the burn, the double burn there. At least he doesn't take another burn trying to get this red. And with that, he's pretty well lost a significant chunk of time to BlueBob and Fire Sea. Oh, and Pete doesn't quite get a good angle on his jump. And doesn't get the wall kick here. Very, very awkward ending situation. Losing a lot of time. But he's able to finally get up there, get his long jump, and finally collect the star with a big hop. As BlueBob is going to go ahead and advance upstairs to Wet Dry World. This is another one where runners have a bit of volatility in where exactly they'll start the stage. If they start with the 3 single stars, or if they go for 100 coin first. Typically, I prefer 100 coin, but it's certainly understandable to do something else first to just kind of get used to the groove of the stage. BlueBob with 100 coin first, though, as Pete lands his Bowser throw. The first double box broken. BlueBob not going for the double-double. Unfortunate sight for humanity. Tan the Man, if you type !point bracket, you'll see the standings bracket on challenge. BlueBob with a little bit of awkward Skeeter RNG, but making it work, not losing any coins just yet. Very, very nice RNG from that box. You rarely see a drop that dead. BlueBob, I don't know if these things have been intentional, but BlueBob seems to have had a little bit of issue with some dusty rollouts at some points. Fluff with the in-chat strats. Or in-chat stats. It's the newest tongue twister the kids are going through. Pete, as you can see, is going to opt to take these other stars first. Had a little bit of an issue with that side flip. Let's see what his elevator movement looks like. If you saw him go on the left side of that cage, taking this very, very safe. The left side of the cage will help center the cam before you have to start doing the wall kicks. And then jumping on top of the platform like that also makes the wall kicks a bit easier. Even though it loses, like, I think maybe half a second, maybe a full second. I'm now heading on in for these other stars. Playing things safe here, except going for this triple jump here. No side flip lineup, and it's good. That awning wall kick in particular, probably the most difficult in the game due to how weird of an angle you have to approach it. Pete gonna go ahead and do 100 coin before top of the town. Kind of an interesting strat choice. It normally doesn't make a difference, but in the event that you miss a blue in 100 coin, you want to have shocking airlifts available as a backup because it'll be the fastest possible backup to use rather than having to exit course. Although you don't really want to plan for something like that to happen because it's very, very rare. It only really happens if you mess up on the skeeter kill. BlueBob with a nice spider bop here. Not going for the second triple for top of the town. Kind of an interesting move, although you do have more speed on that sloped platform on this star than you would on Express Elevator. Pete with a pretty clean 100 coin aside from the amp zap here. But then Pete falling off here. Didn't get the double jump dive like he wanted and then didn't quite know how to account. Tried to use the slope for a little bit of extra speed, but I don't think it really did much good. Now BlueBob advancing into the horrible island. Pete ground pounding instead of long jumping. Okay, this is a bit of a weird backup here. He's just going to go ahead and go to this wooden platform first. Really don't blame him. Oh, but he bonks the dive, not quite connecting. Has to go for this really, really awkward backup here. This backup triple is extremely awkward, but he makes it work at least. It looked like BlueBob had a pretty decent secret, but that's a huge time loss for Pete. You really don't want to fall off that wooden plank at the top. Wait, did BlueBob take a death here? I didn't even see BlueBob took a death. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't even see that. Let me guess, he took a death at the second secret. He took a burn or something, right? Or did he advance all the way through and then took a death at the end? Mistakes on both sides happening simultaneously. Pete just cannot get on top of this cage. Overshot the island. Okay, I don't think I've seen that one before. He goes for the mountain clip here. Gets the movement, I think, a little bit uncleanly, but still making it work, making it happen. As Pete now advances into THI himself. Gets the Goomba Bob here, but he's able to still grab the third secret. Nice little backup there. He goes for this weird triple to get on top of the island. I don't think that ever would have connected. A nice jump there from Pete. So BlueBob advancing on over to TTM, but his lead cut considerably from where it was before. But he does still have a pretty significant advantage here. Let's see it happen. Nice top of the mountain, no mountain clip from Pete. Yeah, the first Todd star of the run. BlueBob misses the mountain clip, though. Not even quite sure what happened with that, but backing it up with Blast Away. Pete misses the slide kick on top of the Piranha Plant, though, and takes a burn on the second Piranha Plant. Just gonna have to wait around for it to respawn. Does get that later bop, but he's in a weird position with this Piranha. I think he's gonna just have to go all the way back over there and wait for him. Unless, yeah, he thought that he may have gotten the bop as he was receding, but no such luck, unfortunately. He'd have to take some significant time loss grabbing the start. What did he even miss now? What? Excuse me? What just happened to Pete? That must be like a 1 in a million situation. I have never seen that. He must have gotten the bop as the piranha came down, and somehow it delayed the bop until the piranha came back up, because it looked like he got the bop instantly, and that must have somehow interrupted the star coming out. That does not make any sense. I have never once seen that. That has never once happened to anyone in a league race, ever, I don't think. That is such a weird situation. That must be it. He must have somehow, like, bopped him in a very weird way that made it just not quite count. BlueBob going on in for reds now. Had some better luck with these mountain clips. Let's see what BlueBob's reds look like here. Oh, goes for the long jump ending, but ground pound instead. TOG, if he would have missed it, it would have respawned later when he was running back around. And he also got a coin spray that came from that location, so he had to have killed it, but that was such a weird point. Oh, and having some issue with reds now, getting bullied by some of the Monty moles down here. Having to take some very awkward movement here. Wall kick ledge grab, an interesting strat there. A lot of things from Pete's side that I haven't quite seen before. BlueBob going on in for breezeless. And it looks good. Nice. That seems to be a bit further left than I've seen most people get breezeless. He must have gotten a firstie or something. Not exactly sure. So BlueBob advancing into Snowman's Land. Pete, though, with 4 more stars to grab in TTM. Let's see how these mountain clips go now. And the log wall kick is good. Gonna go for this very comfy side flip dive ending. Once you ledge grab up on that platform, the side flip dive is free. Especially if you ledge grab far enough back, you can grab the one up there and do a front flip setup in order to grab it really easily. BlueBob tried to do the double speed kick method on Whirl from the Freezing Pond, but again, just having a bit of an issue with rollouts. And then he doesn't get quite enough distance there. Gonna have to go for this backup. Misses the ledge here. Gonna go for a spin drift backup. Barely hits the spin drift, and he gets on top of the platform with it at least. That one cost him a few seconds. Let's see if Pete's able to capitalize on some of that whenever he gets into SL. Still 2 stars remaining in TTM, though. Pete going for this optimal setup for Blast of the Lonely Mushroom. Not having to go all the way up that ramp slope there. BlueBob with just 1 more star left in SL, or CCM 2.0. Pete with the breezeless attempt. And oh, not quite getting enough height. Got the fence clip, and he's going to go for it again. Very interesting decision. Again, just the fence trying to clip him in, but he doesn't have quite the height for it. A 3rd attempt, and he finally gets it this time, but it's a bit bittersweet. I think if he would have just gone for the breeze back up the first time, he would have actually saved a little bit more time. I mean, at least he hit breezeless. We got both sides in a D2 match hitting breezeless in some capacity. BlueBob now headed down to the basement for MIPS. 1 Todd, and then a few stars in everyone's favorite maze cave. Why hasn't anyone remade HMC in real life? Like, with how many, like, escape the rooms and, like haunted houses and stuff there are out there, like, people are willing to devote building space to large projects. Like, why not remake HMC? That'd be pretty hyped to go through. Pete with the nice deep freeze. Right, let's see what BlueBob can do here in HMC. Goes for amazing emergency exit first. Kind of an interesting strat choice there. Most of the time you see people want to go for box jump first. Oh, and Pete also gets bopped by that ledge there. Fortunately, he gets his momentum stopped a lot earlier by the water. And he's able to get this nice back up here. Saving a little bit of time over BlueBob, but nowhere near as much as he could have. Oh, BlueBob takes the ledge grab there. I guess in a way it was kind of smart for BlueBob to go for emergency exit when he got that clean intro, because with that intro it was faster than if he would have gone on the other side of the pit. But still just feels kind of like a weird decision there. BlueBob with Christmas Miracle. And lands it just fine. As Pete heads down to HMC himself, but has a few stars to make up over BlueBob. Pete getting a bonk on his way to the Mips grab, though. I thought Mips would have been grabbed by that. And he has to take this weird backup since Mips didn't get activated by that slide. But at least he's got the rabbit in his hands. BlueBob with some almost dangerous boulder RNG. But just hugging the left wall makes everything work. Pete with another bonk. Just can't seem to get clean movement down in the basement. And a rail slide to boot. Let's hope his movement in HMC is a little bit better than his basement movement right now. As BlueBob heads on up to Tippy, a full HMC ahead. Very nice 2 to 2.5 minute lead for him here. Pete with a very nice triple box jump. But passes right by the star and takes a big bonk there. Rocket 2 bounce coming out from BlueBob. And it's good. Oh, but he misses the second jump on the slope. Gonna have to go back for that as another attempt. Let's see what he's able to do with the Red's backup, though. What? He must have accidentally hit B there. That's the only way I could think he got a bonk there. Almost falling off the maze entirely. Oh, man. At least he gets the 5 slide. But that was not a very clean Reds backup. He can make up a little bit of time there. Groundhog. In this case, the race itself was pre-recorded, so no, the runners can't hear my commentary. But in the case of live races, if they want to hear commentary, they'd have to like pull up the stream itself, which some runners do decide to do. It just depends on the runner. Some runners would prefer not to have any awareness of what the other person's doing. And speaking of, BlueBob does not want to have been aware that that triple jump just didn't quite connect. Taking a lot of rage pauses on the way down, too. This is Pete's first real major opening in upstairs, aside from that THI death. Let's see. Block 2 bounce, take 2. And he's on the pole at least. More progress than before. But this ending movement is still not quite free. Gets that 2 wall kick movement into the double jump. It's definitely harder to get those wall kicks off the pole. Pete having some trouble with the side flip backup. But if you're able to get those wall kicks off of the pole, the whole ending movement is overall easier. Pete tries to ground pound into the switch, but doesn't quite connect. Has to go with the shig drop instead. BlueBob with the left side tricky movement here. Very, very nice movement on these triangles. What is the stream setup like? So in the case of like pre-recorded matches like this, there's a match facilitator that I'm joined up with in a Discord call, and they're playing the match for me over Discord video call, and I'm commentating the match with them in the call so that they can record my audio, and then they're restreaming it live for y'all. For live races, it's about the same, except instead of the facilitator replaying a pre-recorded match, they're actually playing the two streamers' streams live. Oh, Pete having some issues getting into Rainbow Ride. All right, BlueBob is in TTC, starting off with 100 coin. This is one star that he really, really needs to go right. Pete misses the wall kick. At least he doesn't take a death, so he can use reds as a backup. Let's see if his backup is a little bit cleaner than Bob's. And already it's not. Oh, misses the ledge grab there. Keeps missing this ledge grab onto this platform. Having to go with some very awkward movement to try to back this up. Doesn't quite get over the awning there. As Pete is chugging on through TTC 100. This is a big Reds meltdown from Pete. It should have gone better for him than BlueBob, but instead going far, far worse on this intro movement. At least once he gets into the maze, he's been a little bit more confident. Doesn't go for the 5 slide. So Apple said often what they'll do is many streamers have a backup stream, and they'll be streaming to the restreamer from that. BlueBob gets invis-walled. Let's see, no double invis-wall though, thankfully. But it's just like their normal streaming setup that they use for runs, just their console going into a capture card, then being streamed either on Twitch or I think in some cases maybe on Discord, but for the most part they're streaming their runs on Twitch, and the facilitator's picking up the runs from there. Okay, Pete does get Lakitu bounce on this attempt. The wall kick does connect. Let's see, it doesn't go for the double wall kicks here, instead just the standard double jump movement. BlueBob starts up on these time moving stars here. Goes for roll into the cage first. A lot of times you'll see people go for pit and pendulums first, but really doesn't matter too much. Roll isn't a great backup for pit. Thanks, Appleseed. We try to deliver high quality premium products here on GSA. Oh, BlueBob, is he going to go for time moving red? Okay, he's not going to go for time moving reds here. If you fail the time moving triple, you can go for time moving reds as a backup, but if you're not well practiced in it, it's very, very dangerous to go for. Technically, the optimal strats for time moving reds are faster than time stopped reds, but they're so difficult to pull off consistently that it's very, very rare to see them in a run. Nice tricky triangles from Pete to close out Rainbow Ride. Still decently behind BlueBob, but the lead is a bit smaller at least. Another time-moving triple attempt from BlueBob, and it works out this time. Glad he was able to land that. If you have to use the alternate setup for get a hand, it's very, very awkward. Yeah, I mean, you have a couple stages that are somewhat similar, like SL and CCM, but they still feel very different from one another, despite the similar theming. And of course, these later stages are just, they come out of completely nowhere, it feels like. Pete having a little bit of issue with that side flip, but makes it work second try. As BlueBob lands a very, very nice time jumps. Gets a little bit of awkwardness on the ending, but aside from that, pretty good. Pete with no invis-wall. He's going to go ahead and break open this final box and advance to the top of the Whomp. While BlueBob only has reds to go. And then he'll be advancing into bits to close out this race. Pretty decent pace from BlueBob. Should be able to still land a higher 51, maybe a 52 is what we'll be looking at. Ground pounds past the star, though. That might change things up a little bit. The triple jump wall kick not quite connecting. He's just going to go from inside the moving platforms here. That mistake is just so debilitating. It almost never happens, and when it does, you're just sitting there like, really? Pete with the nice first-time moving triple here. Has to use this backup movement to get up to the pit and pendulum star, but makes it work. BlueBob advancing now into bits. Looking a lot more like a 52 pace run, but still a very, very good run for a race situation. Oh, Pete gets the ledge grab there. Good thing, too. I think he was trying to go for roll into the cage, but otherwise would have had to grab get a hand. BlueBob falling down from the triple jump dive. Pete with the nice time moving triple here. Gets that hand very handily. BlueBob ground pounding instead of long jumping here. Not at least he didn't fall off the edge or something else like that. Moving left side coming out from BlueBob. And it works out for him. Very clean. Time jumps on moving bars from Pete, using that comfy quick turn. And then falls out of the cage, doesn't quite manage to connect with that inside lip of the cage. I typically use just a kick to get inside there. It's such a small height disparity there that, like, trying to use a full jump for it, you'll probably hit the roof and fall right through like BlueBob, or like Pete just did. BlueBob safely in throws. Very interesting second throw, but at least he's able to back it up very nicely. Nice triple jump to get up onto that Reds platform from Pete. Overall, his Reds going very, very cleanly. It looks like that ground pound is right in the middle of that star. So yeah, no issues like what BlueBob just had. GG's to BlueBob, still managing to clutch out a high 51. Commentator trying to predict the final time with his own bits time, which is not at all accurate because it's so bad. A nice win from BlueBob. Probably going to actually be passing JJ in the standings with this win for this week, putting himself in a very nice seeding position for playoffs. As Pete advances towards bits, going to be a little bit behind, but still pulling off a nice performance in this race regardless. Oh, Pete nearly taking a death there. Almost nice backup though. If he would have gotten that roll out a bit faster, he would have walked up the ramp faster. Let's see what his movement on this gap is like. And it's good. And finally, a woodblock movement here. Probably going to be going for that safe standing left side. Nope, moving left here. For a lot of runners, it can be more consistent. Misses it, but he still manages to get this back up. Doesn't even need to ledge grab to line himself up for standing left. Makes it work just fine. Pete narrowly avoids that Goomba. I thought he was going to hit that Goomba dead on, right in the face. But fortunately not. Pete now in throws. Let's hope for a 3-throw fight here. And gets bopped by Bowser at the very start. He's going to be breathing some fireballs out here. Pete's going to want to try to get Mario away from those blue fire. I think they actually can follow Mario, or at least like the way that they angle out kind of tends to hit Mario. GG's to Pete with the 54-11, about 3.5 or so minutes behind BlueBob. Or no, sorry, that's closer to 2.5. That's my bad. Nice race from both runners. Solid performances. Just it seemed that Pete couldn't quite recover from that fire sea mishap and the little bit of SSL and LLL mishaps beforehand. But GG's to both runners. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be right back with some more speedrun action. This is it for the SM64 portion of the day. But we're going to be coming right at you with some Celeste races. First off, Malay versus Fladervy, followed by Programmatic versus Psyched, and more races to follow after that. So stick around, folks. If you've never watched a Celeste race before, it is the 2D speed game to rival Mario 64 in terms of the depth of the speedrunning tech and just how darn cool the run is to watch. It's such a great run, and I hope y'all can stick around for at least one of these upcoming races. But if not, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you tomorrow or some other day. Remember, our Mario 64 Division 1 League starts up bright and early tomorrow with Rock Chalk versus D Whatever at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come back for Mario action, that'll be the time to do it. But for now, I'm Electric. Thanks so much for joining me for this race, and we'll see y'all in a few minutes for Celeste. Stick around, folks.